welcome back to the Ninja Groomer YouTube channel. If it is your first time here, welcome. I am so happy you're here. I'm so glad you decided to join me and my dogs today that I will be taking care of. Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice. Oh, I'm stuck on the thing. Oh, okay. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do so, and please like and comment on this video. Alright, so there is a big misconception in the pet owner world that shaving dogs down is just a piece of cake, doesn't take any practice or skill or knowledge or whatever, but that's just not true. Shave downs can be very tricky, very risky, depending on how matted the dog is. So Shadow shouldn't be too horrible. I think he was last groomed 3 to 4 months ago. And he is getting a shave down today, just in time for swim season. They like to go swimming. So we're taking it all off today as a proactive measure in swimming, because dogs that swim, if they keep a long coat, if the owner is not in a situation where they're going to dry, comb, brush that coat after swimming, then we got to take off the hair. Otherwise, it's going to turn into a very, very matted nightmare. So I'm just going to start out simply by shaving the coat. So matted dogs don't start in the back for me. I start them on the table, and I want to get as much of that nasty coat off as possible before getting them into the back. Because the less hair, number one, the less hair I have to deal with in the back, the less hair I'm going to have to wash, and the less hair I'm going to have to dry. And also, if I tried to wash him right now, how clean do you think he would get? He wouldn't get very clean, because all of those mats are tight at the top, coming from the bottom of the coat, and none of the cleaning shampoo, nothing is going to reach down to his skin. So we're going to go ahead and take this coat all the way off, and then we're going to get him in the bath and get him clean. So Shadow's matting isn't too horrible. A lot of times matting will come off as a jacket, so it's been pelted, which is even more of a dire situation. Matted dogs can have skin issues and not be able to move well, not be able to poop well because their butt is all matted. But luckily Shadow comes in regular enough that his matting isn't so horrible that he has to go through all of that. The health issues you're going to see come out of that are bruising on the skin, redness on the skin, which are all things you aren't going to see until the coat is off of them. Also, those kinds of demat, or those kinds of shave downs, are very, very risky, because the matting is so tight to the skin, you risk getting the skin caught up in the blade and just ripping the skin along with the coat. So it can be very dangerous and very treacherous, and therefore take a lot more time than you think, because you have to be very strategic about how you go about shaving those mats. The skin has to be pulled tight when you're shaving. It can't ever be moving or wrinkling like that when you're shaving a dog that's so matted that it's all coming off as one. Also on the inside of this leg, right here by the ankles, in this area, that's another scary place for groomers to be shaving. In order to get that hair out of there is push that skin forward so that it's flat and you're shaving it straight down. If you don't do that, you're either going to miss the hair or you're going to end up pulling that skin out and cutting it. Oh, alright, so this is a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and shave my blade, What does that even mean? I'm going to go ahead and change my blade, because this blade is getting pretty warm, and that happens on a shave down, so you want to make sure that you have 2 or 3 blades to keep on in rotation And you can get a cooling block, like a piece of slab or piece of marble, that you can set the blades on in between cutting. So this is a piece of granite that I use. It stays pretty cool when I am shaving down a dog that requires me to rotate blades in and out. I will set the blades that I'm not using on top of this piece of granite, and that will cool my blades down faster. So this part for me is the scariest part on a shave down, because you have all those wrinkles in there, lots of loose skin. In a shave down like this, one of the parts that is extremely risky to do, it has to take time and also requires a lot of skill and knowledge, is this area right here. Because like I said, if it's not done properly, then there's going to be a big vet bill involved, and nobody wants that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move this arm out of my way a little bit so we can, oops, sorry buddy, so we can see better. So I'll typically start the shave down portion of the neck and chest and throat area up here under the chin. If you don't stretch it out, you're going to end up again getting that skin caught in the flipper blade. Now that I'm down here, not only do I have to stretch the skin side to side, I also need to pull it up. So it's stretching side to side and pulling it up because it needs to be tight. The skin needs to be tight, because if it is not, like I said many times, it's going to be a very horrible situation. Again, I'm stretching the skin and pulling it up tight, while also keeping it stretched sideways tight. Same thing down here. He's got a lot of flabby flab right here. So we're going to pull this tight both directions, sideways and up and down. My arm is getting sore. Okay, so over here, same thing. You see what I'm talking about now? This little wrinkle right here? If you don't have that stretched out like that, you are asking for trouble, okay? Big time trouble. Stretch out. So now that I'm not working on that one, I don't care if it's bent. I'm working on this side over here. So I want this side to be stretched out, nice and tight. Also change the direction of which way you're using that blade. If you don't feel safe going straight down, it's okay to go to the side a little bit. Whew, shadow. What are we gonna do? All right, so here. You got this piece of skin and you got this piece of skin. It is now safely shaved with no cuts, nicks, razor irritation, flipper burn, any of the things that might happen is not happening. Good boy for sitting, Shadow. Good job. Okay, so we're going to continue on. Stretching that skin. Okay, I've gone far enough, so I'm going to move down, stretch that up. Coming back down here. Again, this is a high-risk area. Our section here where this gets pretty risky in here, that has to be tight. Okay, so the belly, mine does anyway, has lots of flabby flabs. We're going to pull that skin apart still. Keep it pulling apart. And I'm going to go down as far as I can reach and as far as I can see. If I can't see, I shouldn't be shaving it. Armpits, I always use a 10 blade no matter what, because they are just too scary not to. 10 blade is closer. Good job. Got to stretch that skin out. I'm using my finger on the back side. I have gotten him completely shaved down on the body. I like to have my dogs really well prepped that are shaved down before the bath. Again, because all this hair, I don't want to have to wash it. If I don't have to wash it, I'm not going to wash it. So less shampoo, less product, less time, also less drying time. because you won't have as much hair to be working with. So his owner asked me to also go ahead and take his ears short. Again, they own a swimming pool and their dogs love to swim. So I am A-okay with that, totally on board. It's a great idea. Totally support that. So I'm going to use a 2-guard over the top of his ear. So that's going to leave a little bit of hair. It's not going to be as close as this. And then I'll shave out the inside of those ears so that way water's going to get in their ear when they're swimming. So if I shave this section and this over here, that's going to allow a lot of air to get into there and flow through there, which will help dry that ear canal out after the bath. I highly also recommend a swimmer's ear product. Dogs that swim are prone to getting ear infections because of that constant wetness. So I also like to add in the swimmer's ear astringent after the bath for dogs and cats. It cleans, acidifies, dries, deodorizes, and contains aloe vera. So this is something you can buy from your veterinarian. I don't think it requires a prescription or anything. I don't think, so you might even be able to find it on Chewy or someplace like that. Oh, I need the blade. Well, silly me. It really cut any hair without the clipper blade. That is all your nasty hair in there. You know that? All right. If his ears were really matted, I would be using a 10 blade on them or a 7 blade. Most likely a 10 blade. That's a lot safer. Okay. Again, I want to make sure that I'm going away from the ear leather. I don't want to go directly with the ear leather because that's going to get caught up in the clipper and end up cutting skin on that ear. So you always want to be shaving away from the end of the ear. Don't ever be shaving directly. You can shave directly down in the middle of the ear. But that's it. Everything else, you need to be going sideways. So I'm flipping the ear over. I have my hand on the other side of it. That way the ear is laying on something solid. And I'm taking the hair off. All right, so that's done. Right now, I'm just wanting to get as much hair off as possible so I don't have to use my time to wash it or dry it. Do not cut in this direction. Only cut towards the tip of the ear. Period. Dot. Oh, lots of strong opinions about that. Wouldn't expect anything less in the grooming industry. So this means we are all done with the haircut, right? Wrong! There was a whole other haircut that has to go on after the bath. The finishing cut. That one is where we make your dogs look nice and pretty. Because this isn't pretty right now. Okay? Stand by. Okay, let's take a closer look, shall we? So that you know what a pre-cut coat looks like, and then you'll understand what a finished cut looks like because I will show you. All right, so as you can see, pre-cut is pretty unfinished looking, pretty rough looking. You see how all the hair is kind of sticking out, not looking smooth. Well, personally, I like my shave downs to be ultra smooth, so I will actually be using a vac system as well, which can be kind of tricky, and you have to really be careful not to suck the skin up into the blade as well. So there's certain, you still have to use a stretching technique on the skin, but be even more diligence. So the clipper or the vac system I used is completely interior. It is in a central vac system. That's the way it was designed. My husband had to print a few parts with his 3D printer in order to make it work right. If you have any questions on that, ask him in the comments and I will get him involved. So basically the hair runs through this hose into the wall, through piping that's in the walls, all the way through here. Vac system is up. It might even go through the ceiling. I don't remember. And then it goes into a unit right there. So that's the vac system that all the hair gets sucked into. Those are the pipes that the hair goes through into the central unit. Excuse me, what are you doing in here? So when I turn it on, it's going to get kind of loud. So I probably won't be able to talk too much. Just pay attention to how I am holding the skin, how I'm holding the clipper, which direction I am going, and so forth and so on. I also have the regulator open. See how I grab the skin and I'm already stretching it. Like you've got all this loose skin here. I can't be pushing that, especially with the clipper back. I have to pull it tight. Hot. Even as I move down. Now I'm going to scissor these feet so that they are nice and neat. You can shave them if you want. I don't like shaving because it doesn't grow out equally then. So the feet will take a lot longer to grow back out. And I just think it looks better. But by all means, if you want to shave them, shave them. You know, some owners prefer that they be shaved. If they leave it up to me, I'm going to scissor. Very similar to how you would scissor an emphasized foot.